Welcome all to the class. We will be today doing um, Terraform. We'll understand Terraform, how to write Terraform, how to use Terraform for provisioning AWS infrastructure, how infrastructure as a code will help you to code the infrastructure. So what exactly I'm saying? So let me quickly draw and explain. Till this time, if you know what we have done, we know now how to create servers, right? Manually. So you have an AWS account. I'll consider that you have an AWS account, and then you know how to create servers manually. Okay, one by one. So creating a service manually is okay. Creating a VPC manually is again okay. Okay, means AWS resources which we have created, like we created public subnet, private subnets, we created route tables, we created internet gateway, and all those things we created manually. When I say manually means you will go to AWS console and create. Correct? That is what you do in AWS console. So this is manual way of creation uh, of of resources. Okay, when you go and create VPC manually by clicking on this button. Okay, so this is manual way of creation. Now, in company, we generally don't do that way. Okay, how we do? Suppose tomorrow, uh, if you have a requirement of creating a VPC, nobody is stopping you to create manually. But then, what is the best practice you should still use? You should be creating the VPC and all the other AWS resources. Okay, not all, but some of the AWS resources which we use generally. Most of the time, we change things there. Okay, what we will be doing, we will be using Terraform to create it. So what is Terraform or what is infrastructure as a code? Let us understand. So if you want to create infrastructure with the help of a code, so that means this is infrastructure. Now this is AWS infrastructure. You can also create Azure infrastructure. You can also create Oracle infrastructure. Okay, you can create GCP infrastructure, any cloud infrastructure if you want to create. Okay, this infrastructure can be created with the help of code rather than going and manually creating it. We can create with the help of code. It is like, can you create your laptop with code? No, it's a it's a physical device. But then can you create this cloud infrastructure with the help of code? Yes, because it is not a physical device, it's all virtual device. Okay, so that is the benefit of using virtual devices, right? We can code it and we can create it. Okay, because physical things we can't, but virtual things we can. And cloud is all virtual, right? Ultimately it is running in physical machines, but then for us it is virtual only. Correct? So we will be DevOps engineers. Suppose this is you. Okay, DevOps engineer role, one of the DevOps engineer role is what? To create infra as a code. Okay, to create infrastructures in any one of the cloud, like AWS, Azure, Oracle, GCP, Kubernetes, New Relic, whatever providers. Okay, so how this infrastructure as a code will be creating this infrastructures with the help of providers. Okay, so we'll come to this provider little later. For now, just first we need to understand what all infrastructure as a code is there in market. Okay, so you know that there is something called Cloudformation in AWS. So in AWS, we have Cloudformation. Okay. And in Azure, we have ARM templates. Okay. So think a scenario where suppose your infrastructure is in AWS and you are using Cloudformation. And tomorrow, if you are migrating to Azure, you have to learn ARM templates. You have to find a resource who should know ARM templates to migrate that Cloudformation to ARM template, which is again a headache. Correct. So Cloudformation is specific to AWS, ARM template is specific to Azure. Now we don't want that kind of infrastructure as a code. Company is still using it. Even in my company where we work, we have CloudFormations and ARM templates. But then company is slowly migrating to a different base architecture, which is a different tool, which is platform independent, which is Terraform. Okay, a product from HashiCorp. So a company called HashiCorp. Okay, so this company, HashiCorp, this company is created a tool called Terraform, and this particular Terraform you can use to create multiple infrastructure in different platform like AWS, Azure, Google Cloud, Oracle, Alibaba, Kubernetes. You see, so many are there, so many. You think something, and most of the things will be here. Around how many providers are there? See, this many providers, 4582, which is like so many, right? So we have many providers. With the help of Terraform, we can when you say providers, that means you can create infrastructure in um, this many platforms. Okay, you can create those things. Now, what I'm saying, that suppose if you want to create in AWS, or you are mainly because we are studying DevOps on AWS. So if suppose we click on AWS, so we'll be using, if you want to create infrastructure in AWS, we will be using AWS provider. Provider is just like a library. Okay, it's like library. Suppose if you want to use Python and you want to call AWS resources, or from Python, if you want to create all these resources, what is the library we will be using in Python? Boto 3, right? So Boto 3 is a library to use to create this thing, to create AWS, to talk to AWS. So similarly, Terraform will be using what library? The library name is called, so we don't call library in Terraform, we call it providers. And what is the provider name? AWS is a provider name. Okay, and multiple versions are there for these particular providers. Okay, different versions. So they are keep on upgrading the version to Terraform, where different functionalities are getting added. So AWS will keep on changing their console, right? Keep on changing their tools or services. Based on these services, HashiCorp will keep on creating the providers for AWS. Okay, clear? So different providers, different providers are created for different platform, which is AWS, Azure, and each provider will have different versions. Okay, it is now the current version is 5.72.1. Okay, which is published 7 days ago. See, 8 days ago, 20 days ago. It's like it is versions. These versions are there. You don't. So this is the up-to-date version, current version. Okay, so we'll understand this later more about the provider. But coming to this back again, so I told that we will not be using CloudFormation or ARM template, but we will be using something platform independent thing, which is Terraform. Okay, and Terraform will use something called providers. Okay, to create infrastructure in respective platform. Okay, like AWS, Azure, or this. Fine, this is easy.